Hey, it's another Saturday night. Hey, fellas, it's Raz, slightly sober version. This is Sound Design Saturday, and welcome to episode 34. And today we'll be creating a Dropgun synth, and it sounds something like this. Okay, so firstly, it really isn't like super duper exact because their lead synth differs from track to track. Well, that's what I noticed. And I also assigned oh, by the way, we'll be using Serum. Forgot to mention that. A macro, which kind of gives you the ability to move around the format and give your synth a different character, which can be like movement in the middle, along the way, or just to give a different texture like this one. I'll just play it for you. Which is super duper cool. I really like that. Okay, so let's get started. Bam. That's one. We'll just copy and paste this MIDI and mute the effects, which is just an EQ. So you should start with something like this. So you'd like to use a waveform that's slightly weird or different. So this is a square wave, and you'd like to move it a notch to the left. It's like a pulse, like a tight pulse. Well, yes, it is still a pulse, but it has a different width size that's not available in Silent or anywhere. That's why I used Serum for this particular sound. And for some reason, this is what worked for me. I have the phase to start exactly at the same position with every note. So set the phase to 0 and the randomness to 0. All right, now let's move on to the effects tab right here. You'd like to use the phaser. So this is what creates that format tone, or yeah, whatever it is. You'd like to set the rate all the way down, the depth, and the phase. The frequency, I found the sweet spot to be around 398 something or 400 hertz, and the feedback down to 70%. So that's what you should get. Now let's enable the distortion. I'd like to move that below the phaser. I'd like to select the diode too, with the drive up to around 80%. All right. It's starting to sound interesting now. That's what we want. It's good. Now let's enable the equalizer. And you'd like to set the first band to a high pass with the Q to around 45% and the cut starting at around 200 hertz. You'd like to give it a boost as well. You'd like to start at 500 with the same cues, the high pass one, and around 3 dBs of gain, just to give it some brightness. Sweet. Now let's go back to the OC tab and let's enable our noise. And you'd like to use the bright noise, which is under the analog folder. That's what it sounds like. You like to set that fairly low, around 9 o'clock or 16%. Like that. And what else? Some minor touches like the pitch bend range. You like to set that to an octave. If you use the pitch bend like I have here. And also the voicing. So you like this to enable bending, this kind of sound. So you like to enable the mono and the legato switches and set the bend time to around 150 ms. If you like to go longer, you can use like 250 or 300 milliseconds. But 150 for me is pretty good. And now the fun part. I used the macro here in the original one But let's try using the mod wheel instead. So you'd like to go to the matrix tab up here and select the mod wheel to be the source and the destination to be the phaser. What was that again? Frequency. So that's going to be, wait, let me check. Yes, the phaser frequency. Where the hell is that? Okay, it's this guy. So this seems to be a good starting point. Now, if you like to select the max like range that the mod wheel, it's this guy actually, not this one, that it would modulate the frequency knob of that phaser. Man. Brr. You like to set it here at the amount slider or fader here. A good point would be around 20 something. Around there. So you have this movement now. Cool stuff. And lastly, very, very final and not so important, but more like an optional thing is to use the reverb. So you'd like to set that below the EQ. So the EQ does not shape the reverb in any way. Like the size around there, 45, maybe a 5-second delay, decay time. Serum's reverb is slightly different. It kind of acts differently. It's 7-second decays, like a 3.5 or a 4-second decay in like Valhalla or like the native reverb plugin here in FL. Just some minor touches. This pin is like the chorus. If you use Ableton, it's gonna be the like the chorus of the reverb. I'll just exaggerate it a bit. Like that. Maybe that would be good, a good amount. All right. Now, lastly, I really want to do this. I really like to do this. We'll use one of the envelopes, the second envelope, to modulate the pitch of the entire sound. And we'll be creating this kind of pike or pluck at the beginning. So I'll exaggerate things a little bit. So you'd like no attack, like no sustain, and a very short decay, around 70 maybe. Hear that? It has this kind of initial pike at the beginning, which kind of gives more, what do you call this? Man, I forgot the word. Like more impact to the sound or something. Damn, I really forgot that word. There was a better word. Ugh. I like to set this very low to where it's barely audible, but when you turn it off, you would notice, okay, it's gone. Around 4 or 5. Also some last touches like the gain. Just make sure you don't clip, okay? Okay, so that's it. Very simple stuff. Now let's go to our EQ here. To the mixer channel where our sound is routed to. Now I have a high pass again, just to be super sure. I also have a low pass because everything in here is just like distorted. Like I'm not gonna say artifacts really, because Serum's oscillators are really clean. Like hiss or like gremlins up there. Wow, see, it took care of all of that. So that's it. That's all I have. It's a pretty easy sound, and it's really fun. lots of cool stuff. You can make lots of cool stuff with this one. And I hope that you enjoyed watching. This has been another episode of Sound Design Saturday, and this has been Raz. We wish you great luck in your projects. God bless you guys. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.